Everyone, Steve Siebold back with mentaltoughnessblog.com. Are your values being violated by anyone in your life? Friends, family, colleagues, coworkers? Are your values being violated? In other words, do you have relationships where people have such values that are so extremely different than yours that it's almost a violation of what you believe in? If you do, and many of us do and have in the past and whatnot, if you do, what is it costing you? What is it costing you in energy with these people? What is it costing you in self-esteem, knowing that you're around people that violate your values? I'll give you an example. I had a friend that was a high school friend, and we were really good friends in high school. But clearly, as he got older, he became very racist. And that violates one of my core values. Years later, he would make racist comments whenever I would run across him. He lives in a different state than I do. But I would run across him, he'd make these racist comments. And that violates my value system. I'm very much against, like most people are, any form of racism. To the point where I felt worse when I left, our interaction than I did when I started it with him. People ask me all the time, I've been married 36 years, and people say, what's the secret to a great marriage? And I think the secret, I don't know that I know it, but in my experience, in my own 36-year marriage, as well as other people's long-term relationships, is a shared value system. We value the same things. People say, oh, it's attraction, it's this, it's that. Maybe, but for sustainability over decades, I think it's values. In other words, you believe the same things. You hold the same values sacred. It doesn't have to be sacred necessarily, but you really believe in the same values. You believe in the same things. This is as true, I believe, in marriage and relationships of any kind as it is in business. As an entrepreneur for 30 plus years, I've been in a lot of businesses in 10 countries around the world. I've had a pretty relatively extensive entrepreneurial career, and I've had along the way business partners that did not share my values. We ended up in business together for one reason or another, but then as we operated the business, they did things that violated my values. Like they cheated, they lied, they stole in different ways. Not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's not funny. But it's in such violation of my values that there was no way I could stay with those people in that business. And I didn't. So here's the solution. If you have this, the problem, of course, is what it's costing you. Your own self-esteem. When you're around those people, you feel worse when you're around them than you do when you're not around them. So your self-esteem suffers, your confidence suffers. It really costs a lot of mental energy and self-esteem when you hang around people or you interact with people on a regular basis that violate your values. No one's perfect. But if people have polar opposite values, like the way people treat people. I've been in business with people that just treated our employees terribly. Like they just thought employees should be talked down to. Well, that violates a major value in my life, which is the golden rule. Treat people as you would like to be treated. I think most people would agree the golden rule is probably the most important thing there is in life. And I really believe that. And so when I see people talking down to one of our employees, that's a real problem for me. That's a complete violation of my value system. And so I had to get out of business with those people. So if you're in this situation, and many people are, here are your options. Number one, you can limit your exposure to these people to limit the damage they're doing to you, to your energy, to your self-esteem, etc. Number two is you can do what I did. I cut them out of my life. I don't interact with people that violate my value system. I don't do it. Once in a while you bump into them or something, or you have to, for some reason, you have to interact with them, and I make it as minimal as possible. And if I don't have to do it, I don't do it. And some people say, well, that's awfully extreme. Maybe, but if people are going to violate my value system, I'm not going to spend any time with them at all. Life is too short. I'm just not going to do it. And so I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. It just has worked for me. It's kind of sad when you have to cut people out of your life. There's no question about that, especially if you fundamentally like the people, but they violate your value system. In other words, you got a relative or a friend that's a crook. I mean, they're a thief. You like the person personally, but they rob banks. I think that person needs to be cut out. They're too damaging. They're too toxic. And I fared better cutting them out of my life, and I don't regret it. It's not a happy thing. It's a sad thing. But I'm not going to be violated value system wise by people that I think do things the wrong way. Just not going to do it. Up to you. Probably a more moderate approach would be to limit your exposure to those people. I think that's what most people would do. And if that works for you, do that. The purpose of this post was just to get you to think about if you have these toxic relationships in your life. And if so, how can you eliminate them to be more productive and just happier with your life in general? Something to think about. Love to hear your comments on this. As always, thanks for watching the blog. See you next time.